Hey everyone! In this video today, I want to show you guys how to make this really awesome rainbow fishtail friendship bracelet. And of course, I had to make fishtail ties on the end. I normally hate making fishtail ties. They take so long and they cramp up my fingers, but I do have to admit, they look amazing. This pattern is obviously a traditional fishtail, but with this really cool rainbow edge on the sides here. And it is an incredibly easy pattern to knot up, so let's just get right into the tutorial. So this bracelet calls for 14 strings total and 7 different colors. I am using red, orange, yellow, light green, dark green, blue, and purple. You can use light blue and dark blue if you want. You can use pink and purple. Just whatever sort of rainbow palette you want to use, and you will measure 2 strings per color. If you're making a loop at the top, you will only need to measure 1 strand from each color, but double it. If you just want to have ties on both ends, make sure you measure out 2 strands per color. I typically measure my strings around 35 to 40 inches. Sometimes I can get away with less for a 6-inch bracelet, but how much string you need is going to depend on the size of your bracelet. I made this fun little square knot loop at the top, and then I did pretty much like an open shape start, kind of the opposite of a traditional triangle end. This is a completely optional step, all of this up here, but if you want to make a shape start, I will have kind of a picture of what I followed to start up the bracelet this way. It's not going to perfectly fall in line with the beginning of the tutorial, so if you're a little bit more intermediate or not as confident in your skill, I guess you could say, then you can completely omit all of this and just start up the bracelet. You don't need to have all of this fancy stuff at the top here. So aside from figuring out how you want to start the beginning of your bracelet, if you want to at all, this pattern is actually incredibly easy to make. If you have made fishtail friendship bracelets before, this will be no problem to you at all. There's just a couple extra steps to work up, obviously, with the outside. So you can see our rainbow order is not perfectly in order, but with how it is in order, you can see it makes our rainbow order perfectly in the middle and on the edges. And then we have our sort of imaginary center line here. While this pattern doesn't mirror, it does kind of help to have this line sort of in your mind. So you can see we have all of our colors in pairs here. On the left side, we have red, orange, yellow. And then moving over to the right, we have light green, dark green, blue, purple. So if you think about the color order that I'm using, we have 1, 2, 3, 7, 6, 5, 4. So we're going to start on the right side first, and we are going to take our 3rd strand from the right and do forward knots across the next 2 strings to the right of it. And then we're going to move back over to our 3rd strand from the right, and we are going to do backward knots across the next 5 strings to the left of it. And then with this string, we are going to kind of cross over our middle line here and bring this string over to our left group of strands. So now we're going to come back to our 3rd strand from the right again, and then also again. We are going to do forward knots across the next 2 strands to the right of it. And then we're going to come back to our third strand from the right again. And this time we are going to do backward knots just onto the next 4 strands to the left of it. And again, cross that strand over your imaginary center line and bring it to the left side. And now we are going to work on our left group of strands here. And we are going to repeat everything we just did, but we are mirroring it. So we're going to move over to our third strand from the left, and we are going to do backward knots across the next 2 strands to the left of it. And then we're going to come back to our third strand from the left again, and we are going to do forward knots across the next 5 strings to the right of it. And with this strand as well, we are going to cross our imaginary center line and move it over to our right group of strands. And then come back to your third strand from the left again and do backward knots across the next 2 strands to the left of it. And then again, come back to your third strand from the left and do forward knots now across the next 4 strands to the right of it. And again, cross that strand over, bring it to your right group of strands, and that is all you do for this whole pattern. So if you've ever done a real fishtail braid before, this is pretty much the same idea. We're just making a lot of knots. So with a regular fishtail braid, you have your groups of 2 strands, and our color is acting as 1 strand of hair that you're bringing over. So when we cross it over like this right side is going over what was previously on the left and brought over, and it just does that whole braid the whole way through. And that is all you do the whole time until your bracelet is finished. Now, obviously, you can see that our color order will continuously change the whole time, but with having a more rainbow color palette, I feel like it's just easier to follow everything with your strands and just how everything is working up, and just kind of makes it way easier to visualize working on the pattern, but also having this pattern pulled up next to you while you are watching can be even more beneficial. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this super easy and quick tutorial today. If you want to check out my previous video, go ahead and click on the left side, or you can check out what YouTube thinks you might like. Thank you all so much for watching this video today, and I'll see you in the next one.